you today. It is Thursday. It is October 15th, so I'm a day late on Woolly Wednesday. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to catch up from vacation, but vacation was awesome. I'm happy to be back, even though I was very happy to be there. As much as I love the ocean, I really did miss my own bed and I missed my babies. I haven't been away from the cats. For more than a few hours at a time, if that, since March, because I've been working from home. So it was weird not to have my three little fuzzballs around me all the time. So I missed them quite a bit while I was gone, but happy to be home, still getting caught up. So yeah, that's where we are. Hopefully by next week we'll be back to Woolly Wednesday on Wednesday instead of Thursday. But it's going to be busy for the next couple of weeks. You're probably going to wonder what the heck's going on with me because I think after today, starting today, I guess, starting today, if things go according to plan, we know how that goes. If things go according to plan, you're going to have a video from me every day for the next 2 weeks, basically. And then we'll see what goes on after that. But basically, today the plan is Woolly Thursday, and then Friday is Floss Tube Friday. Saturday, I have a special video planned, if I can get it all together, to commemorate Season of Smalls, the final Season of Smalls video, an announcement of winners, and all that sort of stuff. I'm doing that in a separate video because we got a lot of entries. There's a lot of really awesome projects. I want to take some time to mention a couple of things as well as maybe go through the Instagram feed of everybody who used the hashtag because not everybody who used the hashtag actually entered for the drawing. So I want to make sure that we get to see all the awesome projects. But yeah, so that's Saturday. Sunday, I'm doing a very special unboxing slash unbagging. So I have two advents basically that I ordered that have both arrived now, and I'm going to be doing 13 days of Flossmas for Halloween. Not Flossmas. 13 days of Flosstober with those advent boxes. So one is from the Black Needle Society. It's a cross stitch goodie box, 13 gifts to open for 13 days of Halloween. And then I also have the much awaited advent from Rebel Woolworks, the Haunted Lodge Advent. So that's 13 skeins of yarn that I get to open one a day. So starting the 18th, I will do the unboxing slash unbagging of those two things, and then starting the 19th, I will open up one package from each per day until through Halloween, basically. So that's what's coming up, assuming I can keep up with that. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, how are you all? I have a new mug. So this is my turtle mug. I got it on vacation. So in case you weren't aware, because I don't think I mentioned, I tried to keep the specific location on the DL just because this is a public channel and I don't want everybody like finding wherever I am. But we went to the Outer Banks. And this t-shirt is actually, my family used to go to Duck, North Carolina, which is in the Outer Banks. It's a little bit north of Nags Head, so basically as you're going down the highway to go into Nags Head, you can actually make a left turn instead of a right to get to Kitty Hawk and Nags Head. If you go the other direction, you get to Duck, North Carolina. My family vacationed there every year when I was a kid, so for ages and ages we would go to the beach in August and also again at Christmas time. So the Outer Banks is, for the longest time, was basically my second home. It's still probably, with the exception of Ireland now, that I have been to Ireland, it's my favorite part of the Atlantic Ocean. I've been to the ocean, I think I've been to Daytona Beach, I've been to Myrtle Beach, I've been to somewhere in New Jersey. Virginia Beach, obviously. I've been to several of the beaches along the East Coast, but the Outer Banks, North Carolina, that's my favorite part of the Atlantic Ocean on this side of the world. My absolute favorite way to experience the Atlantic Ocean is in Ireland, but you know, we do with what we can. So, but anyway, so I have my nifty mug. That is one of the things that I got while I was gone. Yeah, so how are y'all? How was the week? I hope that you took some time to relax and enjoy yourself. I didn't get as much crafty time as I had expected. It turns out when you go on vacation with other people, plans change. So if it had been just me, then I'd hung out in the house and probably done not much of anything. But I did get to spend some time out on the beach. I'm not a sun person, I'm an ocean person. So I was trying to explain this to one of my friends. I'm not about going and laying out on the beach. That's not my thing. The beach is sort of incidental to my experience of the ocean. So I have to use the beach to get to the water. But I like the water. I like to go stick my feet in the water. If the water's not too choppy, I like to go get in the water. Didn't get to do a lot of that because the water was cold and also the water was pretty choppy the whole week. So, but even so, it was quite enjoyable. I hope your week was enjoyable too. Pardon while I sip. I love the shape of this mug. Like, these are my favorite types of mugs. These kind of like narrow at the bottom, wide at the top. I don't know. Is anybody else like a mug shape person? Like, the shape matters almost as much as what's on the mug to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So anyway, trying to get this done kind of quickly. As you can see, my hair is still wet. It's first thing in the morning. Since I'm running late, I have a lot of videos to do in the next several days. I'm just trying to get a jump on things. So yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm Jessie. This is Mislaid Pages. This is my usually woolly Wednesday. Today it's woolly Thursday Knitcast, where I talk about all of my yarny goodness, my knitting projects. I have done crochet in the past. Mostly I'm doing knitting now. For whatever reason, knitting is just much more challenging to me, and I think that's why it's more interesting. But it's where I talk about all the projects that I'm going to do, all the projects that I am doing, all the yarn that I have purchased and am coveting, and all that kind of stuff. So let's get on with it. I've only worked on two things. So you saw most of my progress last week in my quick little video. Let me pull this up. On my my mini skein infinity scarf, you saw most of my progress already. I'm trying to talk too fast. So I haven't gotten much more progress on this. In fact, I don't think I left my progress marker where you saw it in my last video because I wanted to see how much I actually knit while I was away. So, based on my progress marker, this is how much I knitted on this while I was gone, which is kind of cool. Focus camera, there we go. I think since you last saw it, I want to say it was here, maybe? Somewhere in this section. So I've done another blue section, and this is going to be, I think this is the last red section. 1, 2, 3, nope. Second to last red section. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I've got one more section of blue, one more section of red, and a couple more sections of this speckled white. So I thought I might finish this while I was gone, but it turns out I didn't. It is what it is. I wasn't really pushing for a finish. This is a really enjoyable project just to sit and work on while you're chatting or while you're watching TV. It's got just enough going on to keep it interesting, but not so much going on that it's really requires a lot of brain power. So as you can see, it's really, really long. And I was just debating this morning whether I should block it before I attempt to join it. So we'll come back to that later once I actually finish it and bind it off. So I also get to learn how to sew things together with knitting, which I've never done before. Okay, camera. Camera is not cooperating this morning. Okay. So I worked on that some more, but most of my progress since I've been home has been on my mixtape mystery cowl. I can't say it correctly. So Clue 5 is now out. So officially the mystery knit along, I guess officially it'll be over this coming Monday because that'll be a week from the last pattern drop. But the last pattern has dropped, or the last section has dropped. So the pattern is fully and completely out. So I guess technically it's not a mystery. After Monday it won't be a mystery. So if you're holding out and you don't want to see what's coming up, then here's your warning now. I have worked through about halfway through Clue 4. So I'm not too far behind, and I'll explain why I got as far behind as I did shortly. So this is what it's looking like. I think last time we talked, and I have not used progress markers on this because of the nature of it, but I think last time we talked I had finished this texture section down here where my pinky is. So I have done all of this up here, and like I said, I'm halfway through clue 2. This section, y'all. Now, I have worked on lace before, and it has not been an issue. This section was like the bane of my existence. I started it while I was on vacation, and I was not a good knitter or conscientious knitter. I did not count my stitches before I started this lace section. And as you can imagine, it's pretty important to have the correct number of stitches when you start a section like this. Because if you don't have the correct number of stitches or you miscount as you're going to end up with a pattern that looks like nothing, which is what happened. So I got halfway through, so this is 20 rows, this particular section. I got halfway through, a little bit more than halfway through, and looked back and realized that was not going to work, that it was pretty ugly. Because at first I was like, it's not coming out even, it's okay, on the first row or the second row. And then by halfway through I realized none of the rows had come out correctly, and I looked back at the pattern and there was no pattern. And I was like, as much as I hate to do this, because I hate tinking back that much work, as much as I hated to do it, I tinked it back. I tinked it all the way back. I actually tinked it below this section, this little texture section. So I tinked back, I think, about 4 more rows than I needed to, but I wanted to make sure that I was going to get all the correct stitches and everything like that. And it was a little bit difficult for me to tell once that lace section started exactly where all my stitches were to put in my lifeline so that I could pull back. So anyway, so most of this week has been reworking the work that I did at the beach. But I finally finished the lace section. I ended up having to section this out. So not only did I count my rows, or I count my stitches to make sure that I had 160 stitches like I was supposed to. This particular pattern goes in repeats of 8. So then I actually sectioned it out by 16 stitches at a time, so that I knew once I'd done 2 repeats I should have 16 stitches. So doing that made it so that I actually could get the lace. And as you see, I think it was worth it. It was worth it because that looks really nice now. And then we've added the 4th color here. It's not as vibrant as I had thought it would be. I thought it was going to be more along the lines of the blue that we see in this section, but it's still pretty. So that is the cowl. Oh, as a side note, so I was talking, I'll put this down so that if you don't want spoilers, you can look now. But I was talking with my husband about this cowl because he was asking me about my progress last night. And so I was, because he wasn't sure exactly, like, how do you wear a cowl? Like, how does that work? And I said, well, you just put it over your head. And he's like, oh, so it's like an elongated neck sock. And I seriously laughed for like 5 minutes. I don't know why, it caught me. It just hit me. And I couldn't get over it. An elongated neck sock. So if I ever decide to design my own cowl pattern, it's going to have to be named the elongated neck sock in honor of my husband, because he is goofy and I love him. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. So those are the whips. We're getting closer and closer to a finish, y'all. I might actually eventually be able to show you all the finish on this channel. We'll see how that goes. I have not worked on my Empower People bandana. I should have, because oh my gosh, it's getting so close, y'all. If you can vote early, vote early. If you can't vote early, then make sure you have a plan to vote on election day. I think you still have time to request a mail-in ballot if you have not done it. I know in Virginia, as long as you're registered, you can still request a mail-in ballot by the 23rd of October, but earlier is better, y'all. Early is better. So, yeah, even though I haven't finished my Empower People bandana, I am encouraging you to vote. Vote, vote, vote. Whatever your vote is, make sure your vote gets counted. That's our PSA of the day. So, now, I have a little bit of happy mail to show you, which I'm very excited about. I meant to show this a couple of weeks ago in FlossTube, and because of everything, I did not. There will be a more expanded discussion of this particular Happy Meal because it was so generous and so awesome. I'm going to talk more about it in Floss too because more of the stuff that I received was actually cross stitch related versus knitting and yarn related. But there is a piece of squishy friend mail, and I'm super excited about that. So, a very, very generous viewer, her name is Lindsay, sent me a box of stuff. And it's the first time that I've gotten like legit friend mail, that I like surprise friend mail. It was super fun. And part of that was this fabulous skein of yarn. Oh my gosh, I can't get over this. So it's Dragon Horde yarn. And if you've been watching, I believe this is the same company that actually made the Changing Staircases shawl that I've been working on. That the yarn I have for that is actually from Paisley Pearl, but I believe these are the folks that made the pattern. So that's super awesome. They call this their myth fingering. So this is 75% merino and 25% nylon. It is 463 yards of gorgeous, and the colorway is Gnome Craft. How awesome is that? Oh my gosh. So I'm so excited. I'm actually thinking I need to pull out my skein of the real teal from Rebel Woolworks, because I think that teal with this yarn might actually make a really gorgeous descent cowl. So, okay, Momo's going crazy. If you hear that meowing, she's up in the hallway fussing. I'm not really sure what her problem is, but but I think this might work really well for the accent color for the descent cowl. So I just need to pull out that other color and see. But anyway, regardless, it's gorgeous. I'm gonna do something fabulous with it. I just haven't figured out what yet. So yay, thank you, Lindsay. I really appreciate it. And again, if you want to see more of the friend mail that Lindsay sent me, check out FlossTube tomorrow, because there's a box, y'all, and it's fantabulous. So yeah, that was one of the really exciting pieces. I keep stroking it because it's soft. But anyway, so thank you, Lindsay. I really, really appreciate it. It was so much more than generous of you to send me that, and you'll get more thanks tomorrow. I also, and I mentioned this earlier, I'm not going to show you completely because we're unbagging it on Saturday. But this is a little sneak peek of the Rebel Woolworks Haunted Lodge Advent. So stay tuned. Sunday. This weekend, you will see an unbagging of this, and you'll get to see more of that. So that's because we're getting into purchases now. So this is a purchase that showed up just before I went on vacation. Sorry, cats are on the table now. They're very. Oh, that's Momo. What are you so upset about this morning? I don't know. She's antsy today. I don't know why. But anyway, so we're into purchases. So this has arrived. This will be unbagged very, very soon. Also, I mentioned last week I went to 2 local yarn stores. Super excited that the Outer Banks has 2 yarn stores. As a result of that, I actually learned about 2 yarn stores that are more local to me, which is even more awesome. So Yarn Love was the first one that I went to. I showed you last week the needles that I got from them. They had some really fabulous yarns, but none of them I could identify as being dyed close to or in the Outer Banks. So I didn't purchase yarn there because I knew I wanted to check out the other store. Well, the other store, as good as Yarn Love was, it's a very small store. She's done some fantastic things with the size of the store that she has. She has all kinds of stuff. You should definitely check her out if you're in the Kitty Hawk, Kill Devil Hills area. Yarn Love. But the other shop is huge and gorgeous and has space for knitting upstairs and downstairs. It is a dream. It is really, I think she called, like her tagline is a yarn lover's paradise or something like that, and it is so true. So true. So the other store, pardon the wrinkling, the other store is called Knitting Addiction. Let me see if I can hold that so you can see it. Okay, that's the closest I can get. Knitting Addiction. It is in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. It's on the main highway. She has a website as well, but most of her product is directly in store. Now, in addition to just the fantabulousness of her setup, she's done a really great job. She also has a really sweet boxer lab mix or something like that. Super sweet dog. I love animals. A store that has animals is just like even more points in my book. But anyway, in addition to all of that, one of the things that I really, really loved about her shop was the fact that she has lots of physical samples of work, like not just, you know how you go to Michael's or something and they have swatches? She doesn't just have swatches of the yarn. She has actual items made out of the yarn so that you can see what a full project would look like in this particular yarn or that particular yarn. And let me tell you, that works because that's what I bought. I bought yarn based on this capelet, this amazing capelet. I'll put a picture here in a minute. But this amazing capelet that I saw. Get out of my yarn bag, Loki. The cats are bonkers today, I'm telling you. But this awesome capelet was sitting right in the front near some of the more local yarns. Now the yarn I bought I don't think is local, but there were yarns near it that were local. It's just that I couldn't decide on how many skeins and all this sort of stuff. But then there was this capelet, and this capelet just had this like drape and just awesome feel to it. It looked really cool and all this sort of stuff. And because she had a physical finished product there that I could look and see and touch, and see how the yarn worked and all that sort of stuff, it really helped me decide what yarn to buy. And she had lots of that across the store. So she had capes and shawls and sweaters and all different kinds of things that had been made out of different kinds of yarn around the store. And I will say, if you're thinking about opening up a local yarn store, consider doing something like that, because that is so helpful to the customer. Not only does it give you more stuff to display and make your store look really nice, but it gives your customers something that they can really experience to understand how yarn's going to work. So anyway, so I'll put the pattern up here. It's called the Cortland Capelet, I think, on Ravelry. I haven't bought the pattern yet, but I will be buying the pattern. And this yarn is fabulous, y'all. Let me just show you. Part of the reason I got this yarn too instead of some of the other yarns I was considering was because these skeins were a little bit less expensive. And also because, like I said, there was a specific project. I could buy yarn for a specific project, which, as much as I wanted to buy just pretty yarn because it's pretty, I would rather buy yarn for a project when I'm buying like that, because otherwise I'll just have pretty yarn like I do over here. But anyway, so the yarn I got, it's called Stripey Fine is the type of yarn. It's by a company called Spud and Chloe, who also designed the pattern, if I understand correctly. This is an 80-20 blend of superwash wool and silk, which I wouldn't have thought that I would like, but I think the silk is what gives it that gorgeous drape. So these are each 50 grams, I think, which ends up being 191 yards. So this is more like it says it's a sock weight, which I guess is, I don't know. It seems a little thicker than a sock weight. But anyway, so I got 3 different colorways because the sample was stitched up in these 3 colorways, and I loved the way it looked. So we've got this colorway, which is called Grape Freeze. And it's got some grays and greens and purples. So you know I love that. And then this colorway, and this game's trying to come undone. I don't know why that one piece wants to be all funky. It's okay. We're okay. This piece is called, or this colorway is called Tutti Frutti, so it's pinks, more different. These are sort of like mint greens. It's got some taupe and some tan kind of colors in there. And then last but not least, we've got this one. This one's super awesome. So this one is called Mint Chip, which is interesting to me because it's got so much blue in there, but it does have sort of a chocolatey, like a light chocolatey brown, and the greens, and we've got some deeper blues to some lighter teals and that kind of thing. Very, very nice. So I'm super excited to work with this, and I don't know why this skein has gotten all wonky. Don't know. It doesn't really matter because it's all going to get unwound anyway at some point. So let's see if I can actually hold. I don't think I can hold these together so that you can actually see. Okay, well, we can kind of sort of do that. So those are the three colorways that will go together. I should have taken a picture in the store of the model because it looked really nice. And even though this doesn't, the feel to my fingers doesn't seem that soft, the actual fabric that was made out of it was incredibly soft. And I love, like I said, I love the drape of it. I love the way that it just fell on the mannequin. So I'm really excited to work on this. So that's all my purchases. I tried to be really good when I was away because yeah. I could have easily spent more than my paycheck in either of those stores because there was just that much fabulous yarn. So but I'm super excited to have been able to support a couple of small yarn shops, and I also learned about, as I said, I learned about a couple of local yarn shops here closer in Richmond. The closest one I think is called Dances with Wool, which I think is awesome, and then there's another one in Rachel Ray's hometown, and I can't remember what it was called, but it had another cute name that was a pun, a play on words and stuff. So anyway, Dances with Wool will be in my future. I'm going to make sure that they are open to the public and that sort of thing before I try to go up there. But yeah, super exciting. I love the fact that I found some local yarn shops and stuff. So I guess I'm done. I guess I'm done. I keep looking around because I feel like I've forgotten something, but yeah, that's it. So I don't have any more squishy mail. I have squishy mail coming. So my yarn over truck, my what was it? The nerdy mystery. I can't remember what it's called. My mystery yarn is not, my yarn over truck yarn is not here yet. Apparently there was an issue with the sourcing of one of the bases. The main base that I get for that club was totally fine, but I ordered an extra skein of the alternate base, and that's what was back ordered. So that will hopefully be shipping sometime soon. It was supposed to ship at the end of September, but it's delayed. So. And other than that, I think at the moment, oh, now I know what I'm forgetting. But I already talked about it in Saturday's video. So there's a new yarn bag that I got from the Pineapple House. So if you want to see that, it's a super cute bag with a tarot card sort of motif fabric. I talked about that on my Saturday surprise, so check that out if you're interested. But yeah, I think that's it for today. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it here and throw in a couple of photos for you. Oh, I was going to talk about plans. That's what I knew there was something else. So I just, let's see, I don't have very much more stuff coming in, but there's stuff that I want to order because, of course, there's stuff I want to order. I just found out this week that Lady Di Yarns is doing two kits or clubs that I need to get in on. So the first of them is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air mkal. That's coming out in February. Oh my god. I don't know what the colors are going to look like. I don't know what the pattern's going to look like, but it's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I have to. I'm going to have to figure out how I can afford that. The second one is actually happening earlier, but I found out about it about the same time, and that is the Golden Girls. The Golden Girls. Can you not? So it's like my childhood made into yarn. Or my teenagehood, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so yeah, those are two clubs that I need to get in on like yesterday. So Golden Girls comes out in January and Fresh Prince comes out in February, and I need to figure out how to make enough money to get those things because I need them desperately. I need them. So yeah, those will be coming up. I'm hoping to finish one or both of the two projects I talked about today: the mini skein infinity scarf and the mixtape mkal. I'm hoping to finish those very very soon, and I think my plans will be to get back to the Sharon Show mkal, the Sharon Show shawl, and finish that, and then I'm not sure what I'm going to put on my needles next. I may or may not wait until I finish some of those. I probably will wait until I finish at least one thing. Um, but coming up, I definitely have the Secret Handshake mkal from Casapinka. I also have the Descent Cal from Cassie Browning that I want to do. There's also the Sunstripe shawl, cowl, shawl, the Sunstripe knit that I want to do from Remade by Hand. So those three are definitely coming up. There will probably be more patterns coming up. So, so that's the plans in the works for right now. That's the stuff I'm looking at, hoping to get at some point in the future. So yeah, so that's where we are. So now we really are done, I promise. So as I said, keep an eye out on the channel for the next several days. There will hopefully be fun stuff for you to watch. And otherwise, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're staying well and staying safe. I know that a lot of things are changing and going very quickly now. A lot of different countries are starting to deepen restrictions, going back down into lockdowns in some cases. Whatever's going on where you are, I hope that you're staying safe. Make sure that you're taking care of your mental health as well as your physical health. It's just as important. In fact, in many ways, it's more important. So make sure you're taking care of your inner self and your outer self. And I hope you're well, and I'll see you next time. Have a great one.